The first key to marketing is to ignore everything everyone has ever told you. Now, don't you know, okay, marketing is not considered cool. And the fact is, if you're telling people to follow you, they're going to run the other way. And worse, if you're inboxing people with custom templates, telling them to check out your latest mixes, right? And let's say they don't even really know you, people are probably going to block you. So how do you get your name out there? Okay, so firstly, you need to ask yourself why you want your name out there in the first place. Now, I think it's safe to say the majority of DJs are only ever really thinking about marketing because they feel the more support they have on their social media pages, the more attractive they're going to be to venues, and that's going to help them to get shows, okay? 100%, man, there is truth in that. But even if you've got thousands of followers, you still can find it difficult to get shows sometimes. So this is all about getting into the club scene, okay? So let's say you're not immersed in the club scene and you've got all these followers, well, you could still find it hard. So here's another route, okay? And that is, instead of making your marketing efforts all about you, why not direct your efforts onto helping others? And in my experience, one of the best ways to do that is to run your own events and parties. Now, they don't have to be huge. They can be really low key, especially until you build more experience and even confidence running events. But by running an event, you can book other DJs, and then that gives you access to all their friends. And you can use your events as a platform to bring like-minded people together. And the events in themselves are going to give you a smorgasbord of content you can later share across all your social media platforms. And by running events, even if only occasionally, okay, you're going to notice that your influence builds really quickly. And instead of being one DJ in 1,000 or one DJ in 20 or whatever, right? You're the guy or girl that runs the killer parties, and that gives you a point of difference. And by doing so, you also achieve your goal, and that is getting a chance to play to people and share your sound. And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? And that's even more so, it's about that than how many followers you have, okay? Now, sure, at the events, okay, you can take photos, videos, but when you do posts, instead of making your pages all about you, you can make them about the community, and you can share info about the other DJs that played on the lineups, you know, do shout outs to people that came, even post highlight videos and reels of cool moments shared by many, okay, help people to relive the events. This then becomes interesting to watch, and instead of running a page that just gravitates around you, you make your pages more about the scene and your involvement in it. And this way, you reach all the people in that scene as opposed to sharing info about yourself, hoping that people are going to be interested. Say, fuck that, man. You need to find ways to motivate people to get off the couch, come together, and do the thing that DJing is all about. And that is DJing, but also bringing people together through amazing atmospheres and a love of music. And let's say a promoter does decide to check out your page. And let's say you've only got 100 followers, but your page has images and snippets of you playing to good sized crowds. That's going to be way more attractive than a person with 1,000 followers just posting transition clips, okay? Now, if the idea of running an event sounds daunting to you, you could even start with some free parties, like either in a mate's backyard, or better yet, perhaps you could even find a local bar that maybe's got some cool outdoor area, or maybe even a rooftop bar, and you could run a dozen DJs even during the day when the venue may usually be quiet. Now, trust me, right, venues are all about finding ways to attract more people so they can sell more drinks. And if you operate your event at a time that doesn't conflict with their usual schedule, and let's say you pull it off, not only does your influence build in the DJ community, but the venues are going to love you and they're going to want you back. And honestly, it could really, really take off. And let's say, you know, you have this party and 100 or so people show up, okay? Who cares if they're following you online as they're following you in real life, and you cut straight to the goal of playing live, as opposed to thinking having a strong brand will be the thing that gets you the live shows and gets you in front of people, when really it's the other way around. By playing live, you can build your brand. See, there's never been a better time than right now to take action on this. See, venues need your help more than ever before, and people, like post-COVID, they're appreciating live events more than before. As it beats being stuck at home, they're itching to get out. So it's time to start thinking less, okay, and acting more. And that starts with you figuring out what you want and why you want it. So let's say your goal is to play live. instead of waiting for someone to give you a shot, perhaps even based on the strength of your social media pages, create your own opportunities, and better yet, take other DJs and people with you along the way. And if it fails, who cares? It's better than failing on social media and not even getting up from behind your computer or behind your phone or whatever. And at least you had the guts to try. So, sure, okay, yes, okay, to make your events successful, you'll need to build awareness around them through posts, and possibly you may even take out some ads targeting your desired demographic, which in truth, that's kind of a video in itself, which I'm happy to do. But trust me, even if you're promoting events as opposed to yourself, people will be like, wow, man, this guy or girl's got shows. And if they're a DJ, they may even start reaching out to you, wanting to play and be involved. And that's where it all begins, okay? Now, if running events sounds like something you'd be into, please let me know in the comments below, as I would love to help, and I could easily do a video with an attack plan on exactly how I'd go about it. As running events, it's a huge passion of mine, actually. And in truth, my first ever DJ gig, right, was at the grand opening of my own event. And sure, I did think a little bit bigger than a local bar, and I went for one of the most notorious venues in King's Cross, Sydney, and I got it right. And looking back, that first ever event of mine went on to run every single Friday night for 7 years at that venue. And from there, I expanded out big time. But that aside, and speaking personally, social media was never that important to me. Well, in truth, back then it didn't even exist. But even still, right, when I promoted events back then, I actually always made the focus about the event, not so much about me, okay? And I fast became the guy known who, I guess, ran the really popular clubs. But admittedly, my clubs became household names. And in truth, my clubs were a lot more famous than me personally. So you come to think of it, I'm still doing the same thing now. I'm pushing the brand Club Ready DJ School much more than I'm pushing myself, okay? And if you're pushing the events and the scenes that you're involved in harder than you're pushing yourself, then perhaps it feels a little less narcissistic, okay? So anyway, I guess that's why when we do our student live streams, it's thousands times more successful than when students do their own streams, as there's strength in numbers, okay? And it makes it more about the community and culture at events, which honestly, that's what it's all about. So all I'm saying is, perhaps instead of thinking, what can I post? Start thinking of ways you can get out from behind your computer or phone and create your own opportunities, and even opportunities for others. And by doing so, you're going to have more than enough content to post. And even better yet, the content you're going to be posting is going to actually hold some kind of real value. See, at the end of the day, the more you can find ways to give back, the better. So even if it's how you post to social media, think, does this actually give the viewer any value? And the more value you can give people, the more they're going to value you. So make it your mission to first know what you want, why you want it, and then hop into vibrational alignment with the outcome, not the process. So if it's about playing live, posting your desires is probably not going to bring you any closer, but sharing your experiences, on the other hand, can be huge, and it may even inspire people to go out and support your next shows. And that's what it's all about. Now, if you don't want to club all night, start a day club. If you prefer parties to clubs, throw a house party, and perhaps even get other DJs involved and rotate who hosts that house party. And you could even create a mini touring network using all your friends' backyards, or even take it take a risk, go a bit further, find some abandoned warehouses, okay? Seeing something like that unfold will be way more fulfilling than building and watching your followers go through constant posting, okay? However, okay, I'm not knocking posting, okay? In truth, I read this quote once that said, successful people don't think either or, they do both. So do both, post, but also find ways to create your own opportunities, and you may even surprise yourself. Okay, anyway, I love the playing live and industry side of things so much. So again, if you want more like this, let me know, as I'm only happy to help, and I'm grateful I'm in a position that I can share my greatest passions with so many people. I guess you may think, why aren't I personally still running club events? And the truth is, after 17 years of running events, sometimes 3 events per week, I guess I got a little over it, and I kind of fell into teaching, and now it's my time to pass the torch to you. And the truth is, I love teaching and helping my students, and to see my students' accomplishments it blows my mind. And there's even talks among my students of building a global touring network. So perhaps my brainwashing is starting to pay off a little bit. See, I make it all about this, like getting experience. Anyway, all in all, I personally feel there's nothing like playing to big crowds of like-minded people. And if I can motivate you to start thinking a little bit bigger and pushing your own comfort zones, then I'm stoked, okay? And perhaps once your events are epic, right, you may even want to invite me to come down and do a set. Man, I still love to play it, Anyway, thanks again for allowing me to be myself, okay? I feel comfortable doing these videos and I speak my heart. So anyway, man, hopefully I don't get too excited. I do this anyway. Man, love you guys, man. See you next Monday, bright and early. Thank you.